Okay everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Mike Newton down here at Penrith Golf Hub, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about what I feel is one of the most underrated and possibly the most overlooked iron in the golf, and the current iron on the market. Many golfers don't come in and ask for this iron. They should be doing, and I'm going to give you the reasons why in this particular video. Okay, so you've booked a custom fit, you've come along and you've probably done a little bit of homework prior to that appointment, and you're going to look online, look at the club's options, and you'll see some and you'll think, oh yeah, I really quite sort of fancy those. They sort of say like they're going to do the right thing for me as a golfer, whether that's a high ball flight, high spin, long distance, more forgiveness, all those sort of key marketing words in a way, isn't it? So you come into a fitting session and sometimes you think what you're going to walk out, or you predict, or you have a feeling what you're going to end up walking out with at the end of that fitting. A lot of times in my experience, they walk out with something very different than what you thought you might do, and that's because you're actually getting a club in your hand, you're hitting them. You can't substitute obviously doing that. But obviously golfers come in and ask and say, oh yeah, I think I want this tailor-made, I think I want this ping iron, and you have perceptions, don't you? And nobody, from my experience, comes in and asks for this particular iron. When I put it in people's hands, I go, oh, that's a good looking iron, and the results are generally pretty good with it as well. So very, very popular. So that iron I'm actually talking about, believe it or not, is a Mizuno iron. Okay, and you'll probably be shocked that I'm going to actually say that, but it's the Mizuno JPX 921 Hot Metal Pro iron. Okay, everybody talks about the hot metal iron, everybody talks about the forged iron, everybody talks about the tour iron. They're the three sort of main irons, aren't they, in their family? And typically around Mizuno's marketing, they're the three models that get pushed through their marketing material. So the sort of pro sits in the background in a way, doesn't it? But it's got a lot of great features, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about in this video. So I'm going to hit a few shots, and as I say, when I've put this in golfers' hands in fitting sessions, they're pleasantly surprised, especially with the look of the iron, and that's the difference here. So golfers are sort of wanting distance, as we said. Golfers are sort of wanting forgiveness. Golfers are wanting nice looks. Golfers are wanting nice feel. And feedback and stuff like that, aren't they, in an iron? You try to get all these nice words all in one sort of package, and sometimes that's really difficult to do because certain irons will give you the looks, the feel, but maybe then you won't get the distance or the forgiveness, you know, more of those players' irons. You then go to the other extreme in the more game improvement iron, and you're going to get the deep speed, you're going to get the distance, you're going to get the forgiveness, but then you might lose the look of the club to your particular eye, or then the feel off the club face. So it's trying to balance all those options. I think this is where this Hot Metal Pro really comes into its own, because it's forgiving. It's a largish head, isn't it? You've got that cavity in there. You've got the stronger loft for the speed and the distance, but then you've got the looks, I think, of obviously not a bladed iron, but you've got that less offset there, minimal offset, and it's a really nice sort of shape and good looking club. It's an iron I put down. I think I could play that iron, even though it's a class as more of a game improvement iron. Okay, I'm going to hit a few shots first. And that's probably a really good example, that first one. Slightly off that toe, a little bit weak off to that right hand side, but look at that ball speed, you know, just short of 126, really good ball speed. Smash is really good, and 6,100 spin. Okay, granted it was a little bit of a left to right shape, which you're going to see a little bit more of that spin, but that was a perfect strike. I've got loads of control on it. I've got the launch up at around 19 degree. I've got the ball speed there, and I've got that stopping power through descent angle, but also then the spin as well. So it's ticking all those boxes. And as I said, visually, again, everybody's different on the preference of the look of the iron, but I think that's a really good looking iron. Yes, it's got a sort of medium to thickish top edge, okay, but the blade length is acceptable. It's not huge. It's not like a shovel down there. We've got a tiny bit of offset, but minimal. Obviously, the standard hot metal, you'll see that extra offset on there. And it feels great. I mean, it just flies off that club face. It's nice, high towering flight. Again, ball speed's up there, 126.5, 6,000 spin. You know, I've tested some players' irons with more loft. Bear in mind, this is a 7 iron. This is lofting at 29 degrees of loft. So it's in that strong bracket, isn't it? Really strong bracket. So you wouldn't associate that, typically, that spin number with that type of loft. And as I said, I've tested some game improvement irons where I don't even get the spin that high. Lovely. Just feels really easy to hit. it's you know, as I say, it's ticking those boxes. You've got that forgiveness. Look at those 3 shots there on an absolute, very consistent. Throw a handkerchief over those. Okay, so there's not a good swing from me. It's a low in the face. It's a bottom couple of grooves. Ball's flown out a little bit low at 17 degrees, but look at that ball speed, 125.7. It's still there. Spin's obviously dropped, but the ball speed's still there. So again, that's that forgiveness level. It's backing me up a little bit there. It's obviously dropped a tiny bit, but still acceptable. You know, even if that was 5.4 as an average for a 29-degree lofted club, very, very acceptable. I really enjoy hitting that. I know certain golfers will replace the long irons maybe with the Hot Metal Pro, maybe have the forged irons, JPX 91 forged through the set, and then replace the long irons with the Hot Metal Pro. I think actually, am I right in saying Paul Casey's got these in the long irons? Or I know some of the tour players have actually replaced the long irons with the Hot Metal Pro, which again you wouldn't associate because it's not a forged head, is it? But you're not going to get that buttery feel. Granted, that's probably the only box maybe not ticking in all those boxes that we sort of talked about earlier, but it's not a hard, horrible sounding golf club. That's lovely. Really, really nice. Okay, JPX, Mizuno JPX 921 Hot Metal Pro. Make sure you go and check that out. If you're in that category that you want a bit of forgiveness, you're wanting some speed, you're wanting that ease of flight in a way, but you don't like to see that massive offset there, huge chunky head, definitely go and check these out and ask to try these in your fitting. As I say, not readily pushed down your throat in terms of marketing, maybe as the other 3 models, the standard Hot Metal, the Forged and the Tour. It does sort of sit just a little bit in that background as a sort of backup option in a way, or not so much a backup option, but just as another option against that Hot Metal, just with that sort of better looks. Definitely go and have a check out of those. Post comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on that performance of Hot Metal Pro. Might just surprise you a little bit with those spin numbers on those sort of tests I've just done there. Appreciate you watching the video always. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, thumbs up, share the video around, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.